All right, for this video, we're going to cover the parts of the microscope. So we'll start up here. This is our ocular lens, which is also called the eyepiece. This part here is the body tube, and the body tube goes down into the head or the neck. And some people will even say that just all this together is the body tube. Well, let's just cover some of the bigger parts real quick. This part right here is the arm. And when you carry the microscope, you should always carry the microscope by the arm and by the base down here. So we carry them like this to make sure we don't drop them, as they are pretty expensive. Let's put that down gently here. All right, moving down through our microscope, we have this black part right here, which is what we call the resolving nose piece. And the resolving nose piece is used to move our objective lenses. The reason why we want to use the resolving nose piece is that if we push on our objective lenses quite a bit, we can actually knock them out of focus. Let's just go ahead and cover the 4 objective lenses that we have real quick. So the smallest objective lens that we have with the red circle around it is the scanning lens, which has a 4x magnification. Our next objective lens is the low power lens with the yellow circle and a 10x magnification. Our next objective lens is the high power lens, which has a 40x magnification and a blue circle. And then we have the oil immersion lens, which has a white circle and a 100x magnification. Under the objective lenses, we're going to have the stage, which is simply just where we're going to put our slides. And we can hold our slides in place using the stage clips. Now, if we rotate this over, we can control our slides on the stage using the stage adjustment knobs. So there's 2 components to the stage adjustment knobs. So if we just kind of look at our stage control here, we can move that front to back using the top of the stage adjustment knob. And if we use the bottom, we can move it side to side. So after we lock our slide in place, we can use these to move them around so we're not physically trying to move them on the slide. All right, let's go ahead and cover the 2 parts underneath the stage real quick. So under the stage, there's going to be 2 parts to it. This top part here is what we call the condenser, and underneath it we have the iris diaphragm. So the condenser is just another lens, and the iris diaphragm is a shutter that can open and close to determine how much light gets on up into the condenser. So to kind of show that, if we actually tilt our microscope, we can take out this piece here. Whoops. And we can sort of see that shutter open and close like that. I might have to fish that piece out here in a little bit. All right, let's take this and put it back down here. Underneath our iris diaphragm and our condenser, we have the light source. And the light source is just a little lamp that shines light onto our sample. And we can determine how much light is going to come out of our light source using the light intensity dial. So we can use this guy here to shine more or less light into the iris diaphragm, and then with the iris diaphragm we can then determine even more if we want to have more or less light going up into our sample. In order to move the stage up and down, we can use the coarse adjustment knob and the fine adjustment knob. So the coarse adjustment knob, when we look at our stage, will move the stage up and down a lot. Whereas the fine adjustment knob, this little part here, barely moves the stage up and down at all. So we use the coarse adjustment knob only on the 4x magnification to get our sample into focus to begin with. After that, we can use the fine adjustment knob for fine tuning and getting our sample into a fine focus. And since our microscopes are parfocal, once we increase our magnification, we should only use the fine adjustment knob. So the coarse adjustment knob is only for the 4x, but for your 10x, your 40x, and your 100x, you can use the fine adjustment knob, as those samples should be relatively in focus as our microscopes are parfocal. All right, the last part we need to know to the microscope is really the most important part, and that is the power button. Without turning on your microscope, it's not going to work super well. Of course, we do plug them in as well. Just for ease of showing things, I did take out our power cord, but we do need that as well. But that should cover the parts of the microscope that you need to know.